Hi, on today's episode of Serenity Ridge Kitchen, we are going to be making broccoli and cheese soup, which is one of my favorite things growing up. And now that I've learned to make it, it becomes something I cook every year. And so sit back and watch and learn how to make this a little bit different kind of creamy broccoli and cheese soup. The first thing that we need to do, that I like to do, is get all my ingredients prepared ahead of time. Because there's some different vegetables and stuff that I put in here to garnish the taste of this. And so I prepare all of that ahead of time. So let's go ahead and do that right now, and then we'll put it all together when the right time comes. Hi, Steve Vincent here, founder of Serenity Ridge Kitchen, and I want to invite each one of you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you get every video of me cooking meals and showing how to prepare some great, delicious meals. Meals you want to use for your family, meals you want to use for parties, meals you want to use for snacks, meals you want to do for meal prep so that you always have something available in the freezer. All of this will be coming out in Serenity Ridge Kitchen. But I also want to ask you to consider becoming a Patreon member of Serenity Ridge Kitchen. The link will be in the comments below. But what you will see here is a step-by-step recipe and ingredients and everything involved in making not just the meals that I show on video, but other ones I'll upload the stuff for just for you to be able to always have something at your fingertips. So consider becoming a Patreon member of Serenity Ridge Kitchen. Check out the notes below to get all the information for that. First thing we want to do is use 1 tablespoon of butter to coat the bottom of the pan here, and take 1 medium onion and let's saute it in the pan in the butter. This will take about 4 minutes to saute this. Stirring occasionally, we don't have to stir this all the time. So I'll come back about every minute, every 45 seconds, and give it a little stir. Alright, now we want to add 1 clove of the minced garlic, or you can mince it yourself if you want to, and stir constantly for about 30 seconds to get the garlic mixed in with the onions.
You want to stir this one constantly because garlic burns fairly easily. You want to make sure it doesn't just sticking. Alright, we've got that mixed in pretty well. Now, let's remove this from the heat and move on to our next step.
I'm going to put now 4 tablespoons of butter into a soup-sized pot and 1/4 cup of flour that we're going to dump into here, and we're going to take this over and whisk constantly for about 3 to 5 minutes over a medium heat. Now we are going to add in 2 cups of vegetable stock, slowly adding that in there and mixing in with the flour that we already had in here. Whisk that all together well, and then we are going to add in 2 cups of half and half. Alright, this mixture is nice and smooth now, and we are just going to let it simmer there for about 15 minutes. Alright, well, while that soup part is simmering and we haven't added any of the vegetables yet, which we will be adding what I've already cut up, 4 cups of broccoli and 2 celery sticks and 2 large carrots and then some green onions to taste. And it got me thinking, all those ingredients I put in there, well, with the exception of broccoli, because I do like broccoli, I am not an onion fan. I am not a carrot fan. I don't really like celery. And yet, for me, and you don't have to put all of these things in there, although it would be hard to have broccoli and cheese soup without broccoli, but you don't have to put all of these things in there. But even though I don't like carrots by themselves, and I really don't like onions, and I really don't like celery, but when I put them all together and cut them up real fine and mix them all together, it just adds this wonderful taste of this soup that I just really love. And it got me thinking that there are things in life that I don't really like. There are maybe even people in my life that I don't really like that much. And it's okay, because God uses all things to work together for the good of those of us who love Him. And so even these things that I don't like, when I put them together, like the onions and stuff like that, when God puts these things together in our life and mixes them in with that flavor of the Holy Spirit, with His character working in there, it makes things beautiful. It makes this soup of our life one of the most delicious things in the world. And so that's where it's like, I don't mind cooking with onions even though I don't like onions, because it mixes with the other things that just enhances the taste, and that's what God does for our lives. All right. Now is when we're going to mix in all our vegetables. I've lowered the heat, although it's going to take a little while for that to happen. And put in my broccoli. Celery, my carrots, my green onions, and then the garlic and onion mixture that I had put together earlier. Mix it all together. And again, we're just going to let this simmer on low heat now for about 15 minutes. While that is simmering,
I'm going to put some salt and some pepper, and that's just to taste. And then a pinch of cayenne pepper. And by a pinch, I mean a pinch. Also want to put a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And if you don't have smoked paprika, you can use regular paprika. It's okay. And then a half a teaspoon of dried mustard. Stir that in there, mix it in real good, and we'll continue to let it simmer. And no, I have not forgotten the cheese. That comes later. Alright, mixed together real well there now, and let's just let it continue simmering. Finally, our last step is to put in the cheese that I grated earlier. And it's kind of important. I definitely would suggest using sharp or extra sharp cheddar cheese. But it's kind of important because of the way you want it to melt into here that you get the cheese in the block. Don't get the pre-shredded cheese. Go ahead and shred it yourself. It makes for a much better way of mixing this into the soup. We're going to mix it where it thoroughly melts into there. And if you want it more cheesy, put more cheese in. But what I used was, 8 ounces of the cheddar cheese. But like I said, if you want it more cheesy, then put more cheese. I do that sometimes. But for the sake of the cooking part, I put the standard half a pound in. Well, all we have left now is to put some into a bowl. And enjoy a nice, wonderful tasting broccoli and cheese soup with some other vegetables added to it. Can't beat it. Have a great day. Let me know what you think about it.